This is Arabian Scent Files, the only fragrance series that treats Middle Eastern perfumery as a subject worth studying, not just a place to find cheap alternatives. Every episode goes deeper than the bottle. I'm Chizaba, let's get into it. I want to show you something. This bottle of perfume right here, Fakhar Gold. I've had it for over 5 years now, maybe 5 to 6 years. It's still about a third full because I will not let myself finish it. Wear it only on special occasions. This perfume, my brother gave it to me for my birthday about 5 or 6 years ago. It's the first perfume he ever bought me. And it started something that's now a tradition for us, where every single year without fail, he buys me a bottle of perfume for Christmas and for my birthday. Without fail. And this exact bottle is where that tradition started. And for the 5 or 6 years I owned it, I did not know the name of the perfume. I did not know who made it. I just knew I loved it. I love the way it smells. It's special because of the sentiment attached to it. And I was rationing it like it was the last bottle of perfume on earth. But I could not tell you who made it, the brand name, or what the name of the perfume itself was. About 16 months ago, I picked it up and actually looked at it. And I saw the name on the bottle that I'd practically been ignoring for about the last 5 or 6 years. And it's Lattafa. This is Lattafa's Fakhar Gold. Lattafa is the house that half the internet will tell you is a dupe machine. Half the internet will tell you is where you go to find the cheap alternative to something you cannot afford. The perfume house that somehow, before I knew any of that conversation existed, had already found its way into my collection, into my special occasions, into a birthday tradition with my brother that I still keep today. Essentially, Lattafa had me before I knew its name. And I think that's worth talking about. This is episode 2 of Arabian Scent Files, and today we are going inside Lattafa. Not the version of Lattafa that the fragrance community has decided it is the real version, the full version. The version that deserves to be understood on its own terms. And we are starting where every good story starts, at the beginning. My beginning with Lattafa starts with my brother. My brother has always been the person in my life who pays attention to what I like and then goes and finds different versions of it that I didn't know existed. That's just who he's always been since we were kids. So about 16 months ago, we're having a conversation. He's also a content creator, was into creating fragrance content even before I got there. And I think that's what we're talking about. And he told me to go look into Lattafa fragrances. It was like, if you want affordable perfumes, if you want good perfumes that are good perfumes that fit into your budget, go look at Lattafa. And he gave me 5 specific recommendations. I'm not remembering all 5, but I know Camera was definitely a part of that list. So I went looking. And what I found everywhere I looked was the same thing. Lattafa is the affordable dupe of designer fragrances, the budget alternative of designer fragrances, the place you go when you want to smell like something expensive without paying expensive prices. And each time they talked about affordability with Lattafa, the places I found, it always comes with the undertone of it's inferior to the designer fragrances out there, but it's affordable, it's cheap, it suits your budget, it's not as good as. That has always been the inference when they talk about Lattafa as a dupe machine. And honestly, I believed it because that's all I was seeing about it, and I had no reason to think differently. Until as I looked into it some more, I picked up this bottle again, noticed the name, and I realized the perfume house that everyone was calling a dupe machine had been sitting on my dresser for 5 to 6 years, making me feel like I was dressed for something important. And that didn't track for me. That it's just something didn't add up. And when something does not add up for me, I go looking, I go digging to see what I find. So I went looking. And what I found is what this episode is all about. Lattafa Perfumes was founded in 2013 in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates. And Dubai is a city that is one of the most fragrance obsessed places on the planet. Not because fragrance is a luxury there, but because fragrance is a daily essential. It's a practice, it's part of the culture, it's tradition, it's part of their identity. It's a form of respect given to yourself and to everyone around you. And so Lattafa launched into that market in 2013. And that matters more than most people realize. Because here is what launching in Dubai actually means. When a fragrance house, a perfume house launches in the Gulf, they're not launching into a market of casual consumers who buy a bottle once a year and forget about it. They are launching into a market where people know fragrance, where the person buying your perfume has been wearing oud since childhood, where their grandmother had a signature scent and their family has a signature scent, and the expectation is that that person will have one too. You cannot sell a bad fragrance in that market and survive because the customers just know too much. So when people say Lattafa is or talk about Lattafa as if it's inferior to something else or lower quality, it's important that it's important that all of us understand where Lattafa comes from. Lattafa was not built or launched in the market for customers who don't know the difference between low quality and good quality perfumes. They were built for customers who absolutely do. Customers who fragrance has been part of their culture and tradition for thousands of years. And that should change everything about how we hear the word affordable, especially when it's attached to Lattafa's name. Affordable shouldn't be a quality statement because that's what it almost is today, where you call something affordable and somehow we associate it with low quality. Affordable should be a value statement. When used with perfume, it should be this is a perfume house that's decided that beautiful fragrance should not require a luxury budget. And I think that's a decision and philosophy that we should talk about. But first, let's talk more about Fakhar Gold. In Arabic, Fakhar means pride, glory, the feeling you have when something you're a part of has turned out well, something that carries weight. That is what my brother handed to me on my birthday, a bottle called Pride. And I don't even think back then he knew what it meant. He just knew I liked fragrance and he wanted to give me something special. Fakhar Gold is a rich, warm, ceremonial fragrance. It has oud and amber, has a sweetness that's not casual. That I don't know how to put it. It has gravity, it carries weight. This is not an everyday fragrance. This is not a I'm schlepping to the office or going shopping fragrance. This is a perfume that's going somewhere. And the first time I sprayed it, I understood it instinctively, even though I didn't know what the notes were or who made it or what the name of the perfume was. I just knew this is not a Tuesday morning I'm headed out fragrance. This is a be somewhere important perfume. And so that's how I've always worn it. That's how I will continue to wear it for notable occasions. Still rationing it, you know. But I'm glad it led me to looking deeper. As I looked more into Lattafa, this prompt pushed me to look more into it. And I'm glad I did because somewhere between the other Lattafa perfumes like Kawa, Her Confession, and Dokan, which we'll get to on a different part of this episode, I realized that my brother had given me the key to a perfume house that I have spent the past 16 months exploring and I will continue to explore. That is Lattafa. That is who they were to me before I knew who they were. And so let's talk about who they actually are. Lattafa Perfumes, founded in 2013 in Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates. The name comes from the Arabic root Latif. And Latif means kind, gentle, elegant, refined. In Islamic tradition, Al-Latif is one of the 99 names of God. The subtly kind, the one aware of the finest details. And so I don't think they chose that name by accident. I think a house that names itself after kindness and attention to detail is telling you something about what they intend to build. So in part 2, we're going to go all the way inside Lattafa. We're going to take a look at the founding vision. We're going to take a look at the 4 different kinds of fragrances they make because I think there are 4 distinct buckets of perfumes they make, but people only know about one of them. We're going to talk about the scale of what they've built in just over a decade. And the conversation we need to have about what they do brilliantly, and let's be honest, where they fall short, because I have opinions and I am not going to pretend I don't. And in part 3, we'll look at 5 different bottles, 5 completely different things that Lattafa is capable of, including one that I do not wear, that I will never wear, but I will never stop keeping. It's going to be interesting. So if you have ever thought you knew what Lattafa was, stay with me, because I thought I knew too. And I had the bottle on my dresser the whole time. So we are going to dive some more into Lattafa, the house story, in part 2. Subscribe so you don't miss part 2, part 3, the rest of the episode, especially part 3 when we look at specific bottles. There will be links to the blog post and to episode 1 in the description. I will see you in part 2.